Hi everybody, my name's Kelvin. I wanted to make this video basically because 2018 was one of the most difficult years I've ever had to go through, and it's 2019 now, and although I'm feeling a great deal better now than I was last year, it's something I still wanted to bring across. The main thing with 2018 I struggled with was basically my mental health. I've struggled with my mental health since I was 16. I'm 38 now. It's been a constant, ongoing battle against depression, anxiety, and all of that wonderful stuff that comes with it. I tried making one of these videos last year, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I started to talk about things. It made me feel worse because I was actually opening up about things that I was currently going through. But the desire to actually make this video still remained, which is why I'm making it now. I think one of the main things that struck me while I wasn't well was that I would constantly watch videos of other people going through what I was going through just to try and feel like I wasn't alone. I always knew I wasn't, I've always known that, but when you're actually in the depths of this horrible, horrible disease, you really feel like you're the only one who feels like this in the world. And I watched a lot of videos, a lot of people out there who opened up and reached out, and that really helped me. It wasn't until after I watched them and started to feel better and I related back to it that I realized pretty much every single video I watched had women. It was women opening up about their problems. And I started to look through, and there are men out there who do talk about things, but it outweighs the women. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because women feel more comfortable opening up, they're more comfortable talking about their feelings, whereas men, what do men get told? Man up, pull your socks up. You know, you've got a family to provide for. You know, you just shrug it off. You'll be all right. You know, we men have this stigma attached to them where we have to be manly all the time. We have to be brave. We have to be rah and just yeah, nothing bothers us. And that is such an unfair stereotype because men are just as likely to go through this as women. You know, and statistics show that this illness is not biased towards men, women, race, creed, background, upbringing, anything. And that's something I really wanted to address, is that I have had a really bad 2018. I'm a man, I'm married, I have two wonderful boys, I live in a beautiful house, I had a fantastic job, everything was great. I had a wonderful upbringing. I have great family. I have wonderful friends. I have everything, you know, and I am a very lucky person. And I'm thankful every day for how lucky I am, you know, but it still takes hold. And there's nothing external that kind of has that contributing factor to it. That's just the way it is. And for me, that's just the way my brain and the chemical imbalance in my brain works. But on top of that as well is the fact that I wasn't looking after myself really. Okay, so to kind of give some context to go back to the beginning, previously I've worked in health and social care since I left college in 1999 when I was 18, 19 years old. And apart from a couple of years out, I have pretty much predominantly worked in health and social care. I supported adults with learning disabilities, physical disabilities, mental disabilities, and I devoted a lot of my time to helping other people. As time went on, I started to climb the ranks, and I became a manager, which was a wonderful opportunity and something I thoroughly enjoyed. And I continued on with this all the way through up until 2015, where I was a manager for a home. It was quite a full-on sort of job, and as you can imagine with management, that comes with all the stresses that any management role comes with. I felt like I managed through it well. I feel like I had the respect of the people that I managed. I had the respect of the people that we supported. All in all, I felt like I did a really good job. I was happy with what I did there. But we were going through a lot of change at that role. We were doing a lot of change management, and that was stressful enough. That was really, anyone who's been through a change management sort of position will know how stressful that can be. As well, in 2015, my second son was born in February, so we had that as well. And also, I just was not looking after myself. My whole focus was work. Was work. Even when I was at home, it was work. I was on call. I was doing all these different things, and it just wasn't a healthy sort of situation to be in. And I did feel myself starting to slip, starting to slide. But I told myself, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. And it did. I ended up having quite a big mental breakdown. And my work at the time were very good with it, and brought me out of the place I was in. But I went back to work a month later feeling like I wanted to get back into things, and I started a new package, and very, very happy. And I was very lucky at that point that I recovered quite quickly. And I don't think I appreciated back then how bad it could have been. Fast forward to last year, I've moved to a different job. I was now a care manager, so I was responsible for pretty much everything. Everything was a responsibility that I had to take, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a wonderful job, a wonderful place, great team to be around. The people we were supporting, the people that we worked with, the staff that we had, brilliant. Loved it. And then last year, after Christmas last year, I started to feel bad again. But with that started to come new sort of new attributes. It had evolved, it had changed. And I started having anxiety attacks, which, although I've had anxiety, I've never had anxiety attacks, or at least I didn't realize I had. I started having a lot of these anxiety attacks, and I would panic about the smallest of things. The phone would ring, and I would think, what have I done now? What have I got wrong? What have I... an email will come through from a social worker. Oh, God, what have I not done? What have I done? It never was that. It was always a case of thanks for the work you've done, or this needs doing, or this has come up, sort of thing. So it was never really a case of, you've done this one, you've done that one. That's how it played in my head. The anxiety attacks started to lead to quite severe panic attacks. I don't remember much about them. I remember the build-up, feeling like my chest was just going to explode, feeling like everything around me was just swirling mess. Everything was so intense and then vacant, almost like I was in this bubble. And I could hear people talking, but it was muffled. It was almost like if you cover your ears and listen to someone talking, and they sound very, very tinny and muffled, and you can't really hear. You know that they're talking, but you can't really hear what they're saying. That was what it was like, just very, very faint and just... And the next thing I know, I just collapsed at my desk, and I was shaking, physically, vigorously shaking. And from what I've been told and from what I vaguely remember, my colleague who sat behind me came over and kind of like put her arm around me and kind of like, it's okay, you're all right, you're all right. Called for my manager, who then took me through to the next room where it was quiet and there was no one else there, so that I could just kind of ride it out. And I ended up going home. That happened so many times. It was awful. Such a horrible, horrible experience. And yet I kept pushing myself to go back to work, kept pushing myself to keep going, kept pushing myself to just... Because you have to man up. I was earning a great wage. I have to provide for my family. I have a house to pay for. I have food put on the table. I mean, my wife works as well, but I was bringing the money in, And so I just kept pushing myself back to work and pushing myself back to work. This carried on going, and eventually it got to the point where I said, I can't keep doing this. The pressure of being a care manager was just too much. As much as I loved it, I wasn't doing my job, basically. I was doing parts of my job that I was okay with, but I wasn't doing my job fully, and that wasn't right. And so I made the decision to step down. I went back to a support worker, thinking that would work. I'd been a support worker more than I'd been a manager. It's an enjoyable role, something I've always loved. So I did that. That didn't work. So then I dropped down to 16 hours to just part-time to ride it out. That didn't work. And it ended with me having a complete mental breakdown. Curled up on the floor of my kitchen with the boys in this room playing, and I was in the kitchen in a complete and utter mess. Phoning around different people, trying to get someone to come out just to be with the boys, because I did not want my boys to see me like that. And what was it like? Oh. I was on the phone because I was on call for work at the time, and something had happened, and I was trying to get it fixed. The panic started building up, and then I had to phone 111 for advice. And while on the phone to them, I just had this overwhelming surge of, I can't do this. And I collapsed on the floor with the phone still to my ear, talking to 111 and just responding in, right, thank you, okay. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember it was very, very basic answers. I don't even remember what he was telling me. And I hung up the phone and I just fetal position on the floor and rocked and cried. Now, I'm not a manly man. I'm not, I work in care. I'm a very caring, I'm a very passionate, I'm a very considerate person, very patient. And I don't cry. It's not something I do very often at all, but I bawled my eyes out. I absolutely collapsed in a state of just emotional mess. I managed to get myself upstairs so that my boys couldn't see me. I phoned my wife, who was at work. I phoned my parents, thinking that they were back home from the holidays, which they weren't. And I ended up phoning my wife's mother, my mother-in-law. She came out, she took the boys, and she took me to the walk-in. Yeah, from that point on, I realised that I had pushed myself so much that I got to this point. And I had to basically go on long-term sick from work. I eventually then left on the grounds of ill health, so just so that I could get myself sorted out. And I am pleased to say that at this point in time, the date at the moment is March the 7th, 2019, and I'm doing a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better. I have people saying to me all the time, oh, you seem a lot better, you seem a lot happier. And I am, and that is basically down to the fact that I had wonderful family around me, wonderful friends. I had a great counsellor who I started going to see, who really helped me a lot with all the things I was going through. And yeah, the doctors were there. But they didn't really particularly help in any great shape or form. And I think that raises another point that I really have noticed while going through this, is that the NHS seems to be so out of date with mental health. The advice that I was getting from some doctors, or the things that they were saying, were just, I'd phone one doctor kind of saying, I'm having panic attacks on a constant basis, affecting my work. And her response was, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? That's just what you want to hear when you're at the depths of despair, feeling like you're already bugging everyone, bothering everyone, and everyone's kind of thinking, oh God, is he off again, sort of thing, which they're obviously not, but that's what you're thinking. And then you have a doctor saying, what do you want me to do about it? Help me. That's what I want you to do. And on top of that, not after, but during my mental breakdown, I went to the walk-in clinic, I went to see the doctor, and this doctor started asking me, why didn't I just go on to beta blockers, anxiety medication? Why had I dropped down in my position at work? Why had I decided to do that? I had a family to provide for. Why? And this is what he's saying to me. A doctor at the walk-in clinic, and I won't say what hospital it is, I'm not here to name and shame, I'm just here to raise awareness and say, the doctor at the walk-in clinic said to me, why have you dropped down your position? Why have you left management? You have a family to provide for. You have money to bring in. Now you're not going to be able to do that. What's your family going to do? It's like having the thoughts in your head that you can't control physically in front of you, saying these things to you, and you're thinking, holy crap, he's right. This is exactly what... A doctor. So without wanting to go on too long about... That's pretty much where I was. And it was a horrible, horrible year. Pretty much 2018 is a year that I've lost. But then again, it's also a year I've gained, because through going through that, I have now grown, and I have now healed, and I am now feeling a lot better. They always say that you need to hit rock bottom, because once you hit rock bottom, there's only one place you can go, and that's up. As I said, I would watch a lot of videos of people kind of saying that they've been through this, that they were feeling down, that they were feeling hopeless, that it would take so much to just get them to get up in the morning. But with exercise and with doing this and focusing on what you love, you feel so much better for it. That's great, and you feel so happy for those people. But you do think, and I remember sat there watching them thinking, that's great, but I don't feel like I'm ever going to get there. And I really did, for the longest time, feel completely and utterly hopeless, completely lost. I had no idea what my purpose in life was. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And the only thing that was keeping me going was my family, was my wife and two boys. That was the only thing keeping me going. But even then, I struggled so much to just take a slightest interest in anything they were doing. And that's not because you don't feel an interest in what they're doing or you're not interested or don't love what they're doing. It's just quite simply a fact of you just feel so alienated, so withdrawn, so inward that you don't even know what you're doing yourself, let alone what other people are doing. And sometimes having people around you is so draining. You're putting this mask on to other people so that they can't see what it is that you're going through because you don't want them to see it. You don't want them to worry. You don't want them to have to go through what you're going through. So you put this mask on. But that is so exhausting. It's so tiring, and you just need sometimes time to recuperate. I found as well, I have a lot of hobbies that I love. I have a second channel where I'm building a model railway. As a lot of people might have seen on this channel, up until this point, I've made cosplays. I've done reviews on chess pieces. I have a lot of things that I am interested in. I have a lot of things that I love. And I found no interest in any of them. I would just find myself sat with no desire to do anything, no desire to look at anything. You would just sit and you would just exist. And that is a horrible, horrible feeling. It's a part of depression that a lot of people don't talk about. We all hear about the down days, the days where you can't get out of bed, the days where you just can't face anyone, the days where you, in more severe situations, where you feel like ending it all, which is awful, and I've been there as well. And they're horrible in themselves, but what people don't seem to talk about a great deal is those days where you don't feel anything. And I mean, you don't feel. You don't feel sad, you don't feel angry, you don't feel happy, you don't feel anything. You're numb, completely and utterly numb. And there is this hole inside of you. And you know that it's there and you want to do something. You want to fill this hole. You want to go out and you want to go for a run. You want to go for a cycle. You want to go play football with your boys. But you can't. It's like you're in this alternate world where everything's happening around you, but you're not really a part of it. And you can't do anything except ride it out and wait till it ends. And that is the most horrible part of it. That is easily one of the parts that I hate the most about this illness, is just those days of complete and utter nothingness. It's so hard to explain, but hopefully I've done that well. I do have an analogy. I do have a way that I kind of describe what my depression feels like using a film. And I might make a video on that at some point just to kind of give people maybe an idea of what it's like. So what do I hope to achieve from this video? Am I looking for sympathy? No, I'm not. What I'm hoping to get is to raise some awareness around this illness. It's not talked about enough. It's not looked at enough. The NHS is clearly out of date with its resources around it. So many doctors are completely oblivious to what it is to actually go, which is difficult because it's hard for people to understand what it's really like unless you've been through it. It's like Morpheus says in the Matrix. No one can know what the Matrix. No one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself, and that's a horrible side of it. That in order to understand it, you have to go through it, and yet you would never wish this on anyone in the world. I've got some people in the world that I don't particularly like. I wouldn't even wish it on them. It's a horrible, horrible thing, and I really feel so much for the people who go through it. So I wanted to raise awareness, and any guys who are watching this, if you're watching this right now and you're feeling down, you're feeling hopeless, but you don't want to say anything because, I'm a man, I'm supposed to not feel like this. It's okay. It's fine. That's the way things are. It's just so much easier to put your head into the sand and say, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. That's what I did last year. I had a nervous breakdown. I nearly died, if I'm being completely honest. Completely honest, I nearly died. And if it wasn't for the support around me, and if it wasn't for the fact that I pushed myself as much as I could to phone the Samaritans, which are a great, great company, and I highly recommend that anyone who's feeling down, feeling hopeless, feeling low, Samaritans, wonderful place to go. There's also Mind, wonderful organisation. Your doctors, counsellors, there's so much that people can do. And okay, I've been kind of saying bad things about doctors, but they will help. They will help. They'll point you in the right direction. My experience of them maybe wasn't as great. Your doctors might be great. I have met doctors and I've been to see doctors and nurses who have had understanding of it and who have been a really big help. Unfortunately, the majority for me seems to be in the uninformed area. I urge you to go out there. I urge you to go and find help because it can get better. I used to watch videos of people saying that and think, yeah, it's easy for you to say. Is it easy? No, not in the slightest. It's very hard. But the biggest step you can take is to make that first step and get help. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just to reach out to someone, anyone, and just say, I need help. I feel depressed. I feel down. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm feeling this way. Seek help. Because I promise you, it will. It will work. It will work. But all you need to do is just admit to yourself, I'm not feeling well. Don't worry about what people may think. People are actually more open-minded than you might realize. I'd have people who'd find out and would be so helpful and so considerate. At my workplace, my manager, my colleagues, they were all amazing people who helped me so much, who carried me so much when I wasn't well. My wife was amazing. My kids were amazing, and they don't even realize it. They would pick me up so much. My mother-in-law, my parents, my friends, everyone. I've got so many friends, and I've got friends who would come around here on a regular basis just to see me, just to see how I was doing, just to try and put a smile on my face. I can never thank any of them enough because that led to me figuring things out for myself. Because as much as people can come in and try and help you, the only person who can really help you is you. Because the only person who knows what you're going through is you. I've been through this, yet I have no idea what other people are going through because everyone's experience is different. Different for everyone. It's not one size fits all. Everyone's experience and everyone's therapy and everyone's way of coming back from it is different. While I was ill, I would post a lot of things on Facebook, and I actually opened up a lot on Facebook to my family, to my friends, to my colleagues, about what it was I was going through, about the bad days. I would start posting. I would be very open about it. And I got a lot of people saying thank you for bringing awareness of this. And that's kind of what I want to do on a bigger scale. I wanted to kind of make this video and just talk about what it was I went through, how I'm feeling now, what it was that I had to go through to get to where I am now. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do, and to raise awareness that it can affect anyone and everyone. So I'm going to end the video here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post in the description some different links to different places where you can get help. And if this video has affected you in any way, I implore you to reach out to those people, to phone the numbers, to contact the websites, to go to your doctor. If I know that this video helps at least one person, that makes making it all that worthwhile. That's all that I want to do. I just want to raise awareness around it. I just want people to realize that it's there, that it's not a simple case of, oh, he's depressed, he just needs to feel happy again. It's not as simple as that. He just needs to pull his socks up, stop being so lazy. All those cliche things that you hear people saying about it, oh, he's just lazy, he just can't be bothered to do these things. Yeah, in a way you're right, but it's not by choice, it's by the way things are. What have you got to be depressed about? That's something else that you'd hear as well. Why are you depressed? What have you got to be depressed about? You've got a great family, great kid. Yeah, I have. It doesn't make a difference, celebrities out there who've got a million times more money than I have, and they suffer with it. It's not discriminatory. It doesn't kind of, you know, it doesn't pick who it's going to affect. It just affects you. And if it does, reach out. Reach out and get help, because the help is out there. And I think it's just a case of this illness is so stigmatized and it's such a taboo subject that people don't reach out because they don't know what's going to happen if they do. The help is there. So many people are out there that want to help you. I'm one of them. I want to help. That's why I'm making this video. You may watch this video and think, well, yeah, it's easy for him to say. Yeah, okay, it is. But at one point last year, I was at the complete depth of things and watching videos as well and thinking, it's easy for you to say. And it is easy to say when you come out the other side of it. And yes, it is difficult to get to that point, but I promise you, with time, with effort, and with you focusing on yourself and doing what you need to do to get yourself to where you want to be, it can be achieved. And there is help out there to do it. So I'll end this video here. I really, truly hope this has helped. It's helped me in a lot of ways by talking about what I went through. As I say, it was a horrible year. Horrible year. But one that I've come through, and I feel stronger for coming through it. And I truly, truly hope the same can happen for you. So take care, everyone. All the best. And I'll see you soon.